10 mythical creatures that actually existed in real life. We've heard countless stories of mythical creatures, creatures that have made their way into books, music, and even movies. And while most people might just consider the existence of these creatures to be nothing but bedtime stories, there is some atom of truth to many of them. In today's video, we'll be separating myth from reality and showing you 10 mythical creatures that actually existed in real life. But before we tell you if the Tooth Fairy is real or not, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel so you keep seeing more videos like this. Let's dive into the video. The Kraken. The Kraken has been the stuff of legend for centuries, perpetuated by sailors who tell tales of this humongous octopus-like creature, whose favorite thing to do was sinking ships and eating its crew. The legend of the Kraken states that not only can the monster sink ships with its tentacles, but can circle a ship so fast it creates a whirlpool that sucks the ship underwater. So, is the Kraken real? Well, yes. The legendary Kraken is in fact the giant squid, which is much larger than regular squid, but not nearly large enough to sink entire ships. The tail of the Kraken was squashed when the remains of a giant squid was found on a beach in Denmark in 1853. The giant squid lives so deep underwater that so little is known about it. Growing as large as 18 meters in length, this giant squid is a shy beast, but has been known to attack sperm whales when provoked, leaving scars on their much bigger counterparts. The Griffins. According to the myth, the griffin is a hybrid creature, with the body of a lion, but with the wings and face of an eagle. The legends say that these creatures could fly and occasionally tormented humans. Well, in reality, the griffin did exist. But it was way before the first human ever walked the earth. That's right. The griffin was actually a dinosaur called the Protoceratops. And this is where the myth deviates from the truth. The Protoceratops did walk on 4 legs and had a beak. But they didn't have wings as the legend suggests. But when the myth emerged, people didn't have the knowledge of dinosaurs we do now, so they assumed whatever animal has a beak must be a bird and have wings, and hence the myth of the griffin was born. Dragons. Dragons are popular all over the world, and their appearance differ from region to region. But the general image is that they have a reptilian body, large bat-like wings, sharp claws, and don't forget the fire-breathing part. Well, dragons did exist, and they lived all over the world. And when they died, their scattered fossils were discovered much later, earning different descriptions from different tribes. But 2 things were certain. Dragons didn't breathe fire, and their real names aren't actually dragons, but dinosaurs. That's right, dinosaurs were the original dragons, and their fossils give birth to tales of fire-breathing monsters. The POUAKAI. The tales of a giant flying monster called the POUAKAI, known for snatching people off the ground, has been prevalent among the Maori people of New Zealand for centuries. But in 1871, Frederick Richardson discovered that the mythical POUAKAI was in fact the Haast eagle. The Haast eagle was the largest eagle that ever existed, with wings spanning more than 3 meters, with which it was able to hoist up prey weighing up to 200 kilograms. And although the Haast eagle existed in isolation in present-day New Zealand, it might have actually hunted the very first humans to settle there, hence the birth of the POUAKAI legend. The Rock. This mythical creature was a lot bigger than the Haast eagle, and the tales told of it were, it could lift an elephant clean off the ground. Sailors of old told tales of the Rock, living on an island off the coast of Africa. In reality, the Rock was actually the Ephyornis, also known as the elephant bird. These birds were huge and could weigh as much as a ton, growing up to 10 feet and earning the spot as the largest bird to ever exist. The tales of the Rock began about 900 years ago. Guess where? Madagascar, just around the time the elephant bird existed. Unfortunately, these large birds were hunted to extinction by man in the 1500s. But the tales of the Rock still live on. The Sea Serpent. The elaborate tales of a giant sea serpent monster that tormented sailors of old are common folklore. And in truth, there is indeed a fish-snake hybrid roaming the seas. but it is not nearly as big as the stories make it seem. The true identity of this creature is actually the oarfish, which is still considerably monster-like, reaching up to 30 feet in length, making it the longest bony fish in the world. But not much is known about the oarfish, as it lives deep in the ocean and only feeds on small crustaceans and not innocent sailors. Mermaids. Stories of mermaids have existed as old as time, and believe it or not, some of these stories are actually true. Mermaids do exist. In fact, Christopher Columbus saw 3 of them on his first voyage to the Americas, but they're not as beautiful as the tales make them out to be. In truth, the creatures we regard as mermaids are more masculine than feminine, and are actually manatees and dugongs. These animals are commonly known as sea cows, and are the largest aquatic herbivores in the ocean. Sailors have mistaken them for mermaids because their physique is quite human-like, have fingers on their flippers, and being able to stand on shallow waters. Add all these traits together, and you have a fairy tale mermaid. The Yeti. The people of the Himalayas and everyone else in the world have come across the story of the Yeti at some point. The existence of these 6-foot-tall furry men became more than folklore when British explorers claimed they had found Yeti footprints while climbing Mount Everest in 1921, after which they were nicknamed the Abominable Snowmen. But the original Himalayan name of the Yeti is translated as Man-Bear-Snowman. So, in truth, the Yeti are actually the Himalayan black and brown bears. Tests from supposed Yeti hair, teeth, and feces have actually been proven to be Himalayan black and brown bears. GORILLAI. At around the 6th century BC, a group of explorers led by Hanno the Navigator reportedly encountered a tribe of hairy and rude people. As they only made repeated noises that the explorers assumed was the local language, Hanno and the perceived GORILLAI tribesmen clashed, which resulted in some of the tribesmen being killed and their skin removed to be taken back with them. No one saw a single GORILLAI again until 1847, when an American missionary, T.S. Savage, discovered these elusive tribesmen, and they all turned out to be just gorillas. Unicorns. Perhaps the most adorable fairy tale creature ever, unicorns are horses with a single horn on their heads. And guess what? They actually existed. But they weren't horses, of course, but were actually rhinos instead. These Serbian rhinos went extinct over 39,000 years ago, walked on 4 legs, and had a distinctively beautiful horn unlike any other rhinos today. But unlike mythical unicorns, these rhinos were a lot bigger, and probably weren't as friendly as the legends made them seem. They didn't grant any wishes. In fact, humans at the time probably steered clear of them so as not to meet the sharp end of those horns. So, which mythical creature blew your mode? Be sure to let us know in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next video.